It's a wooden gun. Oh!
Slow and steady may win the race, but nobody expected the other guys at the starting line. In New York City, high-profile detectives, Highsmith and Danson, engage petty criminals in a high-speed car chase. As the chase continues, the duo takes heavy fire from the criminals and returns fire to defend themselves. The situation escalates quickly, and the detectives end up wrecking the city to make sure the perps don't get away. After the criminals are apprehended successfully, the city awards the detectives medals for their hard work, and the police department holds a press conference starring Highsmith and Danson, who deflect the public's questions about the millions of dollars worth of damage to the city in the name of catching petty criminals, and instead highlight their hard work and personal success. Later, Highsmith and Danson return to the station and invite their envious NYPD colleagues to a celebration party. Once they leave, the rest of the officers turn their attention to bullying their colleagues. Forensic accountant Detective Alan Gamble and his new partner, Terry Hoyts, despised by his colleagues for shooting Derek Jeter during the World Series. Then Detective Terry, who has anger management issues, reveals to his partner how tired he is of tending to desk duties as punishment for his mistake. But Detective Allen disagrees and states that he wants to stay safe behind his desk, combing through financial documents all day, which leads to a hilarious argument between the partners.
Seriously, stop humming!
The argument escalates until Terry throws scalding hot coffee at Allen. Elsewhere, investment banker and billionaire David Urshan discreetly informs his biggest client, the CEO of Lendl Global, Pamela Boardman, that he lost $32 billion of their money, which shocks her. Meanwhile, Terry attends a mandated group session for officers and details what happened the fateful day he shot Derek Jeter, which cost him a promotion to the homicide department and earned him the nickname Yankee Clipper. Despite the session being a safe space, his fellow officers curse him out for costing their city a World Series and bully him.
Are you deaf? You hear me yell freeze? You dick! I'm Derek Jeter, you shot me!
At the station, Detective Fosse and Martin approach Allen and trick him into firing his gun from his desk. Frustrated, the captain strips Allen of his gun and gives him a wooden prop. On the other side of the city, a highly organized criminal group breaks into the Castian high-end jewelry store using a wrecking ball and causes chaos on the streets. As soon as the robbery is announced on the police radio, Terry proceeds to respond, but is angered when Allen refuses to join him. Then, detectives Highsmith and Danson swiftly respond to the crime scene. After a brief shootout, the detectives chase the robbers, who run into a high building and zipline down to the other side of the street. Having cheated death multiple times, Highsmith and Danson feel invincible and decide to jump off the roof of the building. Things don't go as planned, however, and the idolized detectives fall to their deaths. At the funeral reception, Terry shares with Allen that they need to step up and fill the late hero's place, make a name for themselves, and fulfill their childhood dreams. But Allen disagrees.
Believe me, there were some discrepancies, and I was grounded.
Then detectives Foss and Martin approach Terry and Allen and pick on them as always, which leads to a quiet fight between Terry and Martin, while the other officers cheer them on. The next day, a drug offense is reported, but Allen refuses to go, citing that he's investigating a scaffold permit issue. As Fosse and Martin rush to get to the scene and become the new heroes of the city, Terry forces Allen to join him at gunpoint as he races his colleagues for the case.
What do you got?
I got this! I'll put one right in your neck!
Then as Allen drives to the scene, the partners fight about everything from song choices to ways of handling the case. Agitated by Terry's call to drive faster, Allen speeds through the streets, crashes through the crime scene, and ruins evidence, which invites more mockery from their colleagues. Elsewhere, Pamela sends a mercenary named Roger Wesley and his team to David to scare him into paying the $32 billion he lost. Meanwhile, as Terry and Allen leave the crime scene disgraced, Allen shares that he has concluded his earlier investigation and discovered that David is the owner of the construction sites without the scaffolding permits, and forces Terry to join him as he goes to arrest the billionaire. Terry and Allen arrive at David's hotel, find him running from Wesley, and arrest him. However, as they start taking their prisoner to the station, they are attacked by Roger's team, who crash into their car. The mercenaries strip the detectives and drive away in their car, with David still inside. The captain then calls the duo into his office and introduces them to David's lawyer, Don Beeman, and Roger, who disguises himself as the banker's head of personal security. The captain warns his officers about their reckless behavior. Terry and Alan decide to discuss the case in Alan's home that night. There, Terry meets Alan's incredibly beautiful wife, Dr. Sheila, and is bewildered by how the mild-mannered, nerdy man met the beauty queen. During dinner, Terry tries to understand how the Gambles got together, but ends up perplexed.
That's not what I meant. I meant, how did you guys meet?
The next day, Terry and Alan go to inspect Alan's car, which has been found abandoned by the mercenaries, and are disappointed to learn that no viable fingerprints or samples have been found. Then, the duo finds Alan's phone and discovers that the mercenaries accidentally sent a voice message to Alan's ex-girlfriend, Christineth. Hence, the duo heads to Christineth's house, and Terry's shocked to see how beautiful she is and wonders how Alan manages to get together with such women. After an awkward exchange, Alan and Terry listen to the message and learn that David has planned to trick a big investor into investing with him and embezzle money and cover his debt. That night, Terry goes to see his ex-girlfriend Francine at a ballet studio, demonstrates his dancing skills, and professes his love, but she throws him out anyway. The next morning, Terry and Alan head to David's shady accounting firm to learn more about his accounts. As soon as they reach the firm and walk towards it, Roger sets off a bomb, and a huge explosion occurs, destroying everything. In the aftermath, Alan confides in his partner about his old college personality named Gator, who was a pimp to his college friends and made a lot of money in the process. Alan shares that he quickly lost control as Gator, started running multiple girls until the day he ended up in the ER, met his wife, and promised to change forever, and hence joined a predictable legal job as a forensic accountant for the police department.
I mean, I had gotten out of control.
The next day, the detectives go to see David at his office, accuse him of scheming, and demand to know everything. The investment banker then distracts the duo by offering them Nick's ticket. Once at the game, the duo realizes that it's a bribe and returns to David furiously, but are once again bribed with concert tickets. After the concert, the duo returns to David's office once more, aggressively interrogates him, and steals some valuable information in the chaos that ensues. However, as the detectives leave David's office, they are ambushed by the mercenaries before being tased and sent to Las Vegas on cargo trains. The duo manages to find their way back to New York and report to their furious captain, who tells them to lay off David and warns them to do their jobs cautiously instead of chasing ghosts. The captain returns Terry's gun, but strips Alan even further by taking away his wooden gun and giving him a whistle instead. Then Terry is more agitated as he sees their story headlined in a newspaper mocking them for their incompetence. That night, Terry goes to see Francine at an art gallery, offends her by accusing her of sleeping with her boss, disrespects a showpiece, and freaks out. However, the art lovers treat his freak out as a showpiece and applaud him as he storms out, undercutting his anger. At the Gambles' residence, Alan struggles to suppress his Gator personality and has a fight with Sheila, who throws him out.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
That night, Terry and Alan get along for once, discuss their domestic problems, and hang out at a bar drinking and having fun. The next morning, as ordered by the captain, Terry and Alan head to the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to hand over all of their evidence and are surprised to find Don working there. Then the duo return to their desk duties, and as Terry fumes, a call is heard on the police radio citing Don's threat to jump off his office and kill himself. Terry and Alan respond to the scene and even attempt to talk Don down, but fail epically, and the lawyer kills himself. As the duo processes the scene, the furious captain scolds them and transfers them. Terry is transferred to traffic duty while Alan is sent to work the beat. A frustrated Terry cuts down all communication with Alan and tries to adapt to his new life as best he can. Meanwhile, Alan continues to investigate the case on his own. He then uses his Gator persona to take back his gun from the captain before breaking into Terry's apartment. Once they both calm down, paranoid about the apartment being bugged, Terry and Alan get under the bed to discuss the case, and Alan reveals that the client David is trying to repay is Lindell Global.
Cover the losses that Ershon had cost him through all of his bad investments.
The next day, the duo goes to see the captain at his second job and tells him everything they know. After hearing their theory, the captain finally gives the duo permission to go after David, but warns them to do it quietly. Then the detectives crash David's investment meeting with multiple investors and the mercenaries, and are shocked to learn that David has embezzled $32 billion from the NYC pension fund. Before they can process this discovery, the detectives are forced into a shootout with the mercenaries who open fire. The detectives manage to get away with David and speed through the crowded streets of New York. Soon, Terry and Alan are labeled as rogue officers, and the police start coming after them. Hence, the detectives take David to his secret apartment, where the banker confesses to all his schemes and advises them that the only way to save the NYPD pension fund is to arrive at the bank early the next morning and manually cancel the scheduled transfer. Knowing that they have a dangerous day ahead, Terry goes to see Francine, while Alan discreetly sees his wife and makes peace. The next morning, the detectives take David with them as they head to the bank, but are chased by the mercenaries. Alan surprises everyone by using his swift driving skills to force the mercenary convoys to crash into each other. Soon, the trio is ambushed by a helicopter that fires directly at them.
Who are those guys? That's Chechen investors.
The trouble mounts soon as police squad cars start blocking the roads, forcing the trio to maneuver in tight roads. The high-speed chase escalates quickly as the trio starts being hunted by multiple investor groups, the revived mercenaries, and the police. Soon, the trio disguises their vehicle among a car display and finds a momentary relief. Soon, more investors on motorcycles start following the trio. The trio escapes and finds themselves in a golf field where the helicopter soon finds them. The golfers hit the helicopter with golf balls, which causes the helicopter to crash and burn. Soon, the trio manages to get to the bank and try to cancel the transfer, but are stopped by Roger and his men. In the ensuing fight, Roger shoots each of the trio, but is soon arrested by the captain, who arrives on the scene with his men.
He's still valuable with a bullet wound, mate.
In the aftermath, David, Roger, and his men are all arrested, and the other guys end up saving the day. A few months later, Terry marries Francine, while Alan and Sheila expect their firstborn. And with that, the story ends. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more of the best film recaps.